Hey guys, welcome back. So glad that you are here watching us today.
It's good to see you guys. I'm so glad that you guys have been joining us online, and Pastor Rob, they've been faithfully watching, and then some of the kids are coming back, so we're getting to see you face to face. That's great.
It's getting good. So,
yes.
Any announcements we need to make?
Yes, Pastor Rob. Next month in October is Missions Month.
It's every year.
Yep. So we are going to be covering different things about missions throughout the month, and it's a great time to get out those buddy barrels and start putting your change in there so that when you come back, we can collect that money and send it off to the missionaries.
That sounds real good.
Yeah, they were doing great at the beginning of the year.
They were.
I had to get that total for you guys because you guys were amazing.
And I'm sure they're putting stuff away now in their buddy barrels. So
yeah, you
can
good. Always just keep putting it in, and even if you're not ready to come back, when you are, you just bring it with you, and we'll make sure to get it off to the missionaries.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right, guys. Let's get started with our lesson today. But first, we've got some songs.
Let's
see
you
you
then. Bye, guys.
assurance about what we do not see. Our faith is confidence in what we hope for, and assurance about what we do not see. We do not see about what we do not see.
guys, welcome back, and I hope you guys enjoyed those songs. Hey, look at my first picture up here. It says, don't be changed by the world. The world in the Bible can mean different things, but in this case, it's talking about the way that people who are not Christians think. You see, the world, people who are not Christians, they will try to change you to be just like them and to think the way that they do. But God says something different. He says the opposite. In Romans chapter 8, verse 7, it says that if a person's thinking is controlled by their sinful self, then that person is against God. That person refuses to obey what God says. In Romans chapter 12, verse 2, it says, don't be like the people of this world, but let God change the way that you think. Then you will know how to do everything that is good and pleasing to Him. Guys, we want to think like God thinks, and we want to allow Him to change us in that area. Today's Bible lesson is found in Exodus chapter 32. Here's this background. Moses has now just led the people of Israel out of Egypt. The Israelites saw the miracles of God. They saw the parting of the sea. When they were thirsty, he brought water from a rock. When they were hungry, he sent food from heaven. At this particular time, Moses is up on a mountain. He's meeting with God, and God is giving Moses the law, the commandments. Moses had a helper, and his helper's name was Aaron. But Aaron let sinful people change him to go against the things that were of God. Let's find out what happened. Again, Moses is up on a mountain, and the Israelites saw that a long time had passed, and Moses wasn't back yet. So they gathered around Aaron. They said, Aaron, Moses is the one that led us out of Egypt, but we don't know what has happened to him. Listen to this. This is what they requested. They said, make us gods, lowercase g, who will lead us. Let's find out what happened. Aaron fell into it. He said to the people, okay, take off your gold earrings that your wives and your sons and your daughters are wearing, and bring them all to me. So all the people took off their gold earrings, and they brought their gold to Aaron. Aaron took the gold from the people, and then he melted it, and he made a statue of a gold calf. Then the people said, Israel, these are your gods who brought you out of the land of Egypt. They had turned away from the true God, even after seeing all the miracles, and they started worshiping this idol, a gold calf. Aaron saw that the people were happy to have a new God, and he built an altar before the calf, and then he made this announcement. He said, tomorrow there's going to be a special celebration for our new God. The people got up early the next morning, they offered offerings, and then the people sat down to eat and drink, and then they got up and had inappropriate, wild parties. Guys, they started doing things that were sinful and pleasing to themselves. They had turned against God. However, God saw everything that was going on. The Lord spoke to Moses. Again, Moses is on that mountain, and he says this, the people that you brought out of the land of Egypt have done a terrible sin. They have quickly turned away from the things that I commanded them to do. They have made for themselves an idol, a calf of melted gold, and they are worshiping this calf. The Lord continued speaking to Moses, and he said this, I have seen these people, and I know that they're very stubborn people. So now do not stop me, Moses. I am so angry with them that I am going to destroy them. Well, Moses goes down before God gets a hold of him. Moses destroys that calf, and then he speaks to Aaron, his leader. Listen to what he says here. He says, Aaron, what did these people do to you? Why did you allow these people to influence or to change your thinking or your mind? Why did you cause them to do such a terrible sin? Guys, Aaron is an example of what happened when we allow the world or the people of this world's thinking to influence us, or to change us. It's not a good thing. But you know what? At the end, I'm going to share with you guys, I'm going to come back and share with you what happened here. Something actually good happened throughout all this. But right now, I want to invite Miss Kristen here to share a life story with you guys.
Hey guys, today's life story, we are going to learn about how not to let the world change you, but how you can change the world. Our story is about some rhinos that live in Africa. Now, rhinos are beautiful animals, and they have these really long, big horns as they grow, and they're very beautiful. But there are some people who want to take those and do other things with them. They want to take these beautiful horns and make jewelry and medicine and other types of things, but they have made it illegal for them to do that. They're not allowed to take these horns off of these animals because even though they'll grow back, it's still not good. They want them to be able to keep their horns. So we're going to learn about Rudy. And Rudy is in the picture here with his grandpa. And his grandpa used to talk to him all the time and give him warnings on how to be safe and how to stay away from things that could harm them. And he would always tell him, he would say, now listen, Rudy, you have to be you. Don't let these other rhinos change you for anything. Stay true to who you are and be safe and be careful. And Rudy loved his grandpa, and he would listen to him when he was little. But let's see what happens. Well, Rudy grew up. And as he got older, he kind of forgot some of the things that his grandpa would tell him. And so he actually did become friends with not a very good group of rhinos. They kind of had a little secret club, and they had made some arrangements with these hunters. Now, these hunters were not truthful either, because they would tell Rudy and the others, well, we want to save your friends because it's dangerous out there, and we can give them a safe place to live, and they will be safe and well taken care of because we know that rhinos are becoming more and more extinct. You guys are, endangered. So Rudy and the other rhinos listened and believed these people. So they made a deal with him, and he would give them some money, and then they thought they were taking the rhinos to a safe place. But we know, and we'll see in this story, that that was not the truth. Now, Rudy had a job. One of Rudy's jobs was to lure the other rhinos away so that the hunters could take them. And let's see what happens. One night, Rudy was on lookout, and the other rhinos led them to the place that they were supposed to for the hunters. And Rudy watched, and he saw the hunters. Now, they didn't shoot the rhinos with guns. They shot them with darts to put them to sleep. So Rudy thought, oh, this is good. They're going to take him, and they're going to make sure they're safe. And Rudy watched and watched as this happened, and the hunters took the rhinos away. Well, he got so wrapped up into watching what was going on, he didn't hear something behind him. And all of a sudden, he heard, Rudy! And let's see who it was. As Rudy looked up, it was Grandpa. Grandpa was there, and he said, what are you doing, Rudy? I've warned you all of these years to not follow other rhinos, to not do things that will keep you not safe. What are you doing? You followed them, and now you're in a bad spot. Well, Rudy was kind of mad because he loved his rhino friends. He loved them, and he didn't think they were doing anything wrong. But he was going to prove his grandpa wrong, and he set off, and he was going to find his other rhinos. And let's see what happens. Rudy walked all night long, and he finally found the place, the camp, that was supposed to be this beautiful, beautiful camp, and it wasn't a beautiful camp. When he got there, he saw his rhino friends, and they were in cages. They weren't safe, and they looked sleepy and sad, probably from the medicines that they were giving them. And he also saw something that wasn't very good. He saw that they were taking their horns, the things that his grandpa always warned him that they would do. Now you see, rhino horns will grow back, so they were keeping them in the cages so that every time they grew a new horn, they could take it again. Rudy realized that he had been changed, that he allowed these other rhinos and these hunters to change who he was. And he was very sad, he was very mad, and he knew he needed to do something. So he went ahead and tried to sneak over to his friends, but he couldn't get in too far. So he grabbed one of the horns, and let's see what he did. Rudy went running as fast as he could with this horn. He had to let the other rhinos know. He had to let them know that the hunters were not telling the truth, and they were actually not taking very good care of their friends, and they were taking their horns. So he ran very, very fast. I mean, he went through trees, and he went through vines and water, and he was exhausted and out of breath because it was a long run. But he went and he did it. And let's see what he did. Well, he gathered the other rhinos together and he told them, they've been lying to us this whole time. They're not friends of ours. They're not doing anything good. They're actually doing bad things. They're keeping our friends in cages. They're taking their beautiful horns, and that's not good. We have to change that. You see, Rudy had realized that the world had changed him, that the rhino pack and the hunters had changed him, and he wasn't being true to who he was supposed to be. The other rhinos were very, very upset as well. Well, his grandpa came and said, Rudy, you can make the difference. You can change that. You can go get your friends and get rid of those hunters and run them off. You lead the pack. You see, he didn't want Rudy to think that there was any problem or that the world was too big that he could not change with God's help. And boys and girls, you know what? That's like us. We can change things little by little, allowing God to use us. We can change the world instead of letting the world change us. So let's see what they did. Well, the rhinos took off. They were ready to go, and they were running as fast as they could. They weren't going to stop because they wanted to surprise the hunters and be able to rescue their friends without any problems. So they ran and ran. They were so sad. They were so hurt that they had been lied to, and they were going to make a difference. And Rudy led the way. And let's see what happens. Well, just like they wanted, they got to that camp and they surprised them. Just outside the camp, all of a sudden you heard Rudy and he's like, charge! And so they charged into the camp as fast as they could and as many of them as could get in at the same time and surprised the hunters. They didn't have time to get their sleepy darts, so they started to chase them out of the camp. They flipped over their cars and smushed their tents, and they wanted these hunters to know they were not welcome back there and that they weren't going to listen to them anymore. So they did that, and then the other set of rhinos that were there went in and got all of their friends and got them out of the cages and helped them get back to their village. And boys and girls, because Rudy realized that the world had changed him and he wasn't changing the world, he made a difference and he decided he was going to do something. And let's see what happens. Well, all the hunters, they were gone. They chased them so far into the woods, into the jungle, they didn't think they would ever see them again. And now they knew better, not to trust anybody. And they came back to their little village, and they got the sick rhinos better, and their horns grew back, and they lived safely, trusting one another and looking out for those that wanted to hurt them. And boys and girls, it is not too late for you to change the world. Even if you've kind of been following some bad friends or maybe not doing things totally the way you should, you can still change that with God's help. And He can use you to make a difference in your school, in your family, and your neighborhoods. Don't let the world change you. You can change the world. Pastor Rob, do you have some more to add to this? I think Pastor Rob wants to give us a little bit more information on this. Pastor Rob?
All right, Miss Kristen, thank you for that great story. Guys, here's our final slide of the day. And again, it's in Romans chapter 12, verse 2, and it says, do not become like the people of this world. You know, back to our Bible lesson, Aaron and some of the people had sinned against God, but the good news is Aaron asked for forgiveness, and God had forgiven him. Guys, it's the same thing with us. If you're getting caught up in the things of this world, you know what? Turn from those things. Ask God to forgive you. Ask God to help you, and He will do that. So once again, Don't be like the world, but instead, you change the world, and you can do that with God's help. We love you guys, and we will see you again next Sunday. Bye for now.